not only is he a legend in Congress, but he is a local man made good, and he means a lot to the community here. Last night he was alone in the middle of this crowd, many still hostile, and he was there right up into the moments of the curfew and then after. Of course, Cummings is a Democrat. His district includes more than half of the city of Baltimore. Congressman, it's good to see you here, and it was even better to see you last night. What brought you out onto those streets all alone like that?
Well, first of all, it's the incident happened 4 blocks from my house, where I've lived for 33 years. And I know a lot of these folks, and I know the pain. And I did not want it to erupt into a melee that would have caused more people to get arrested. And I'm proud of Baltimore. And I also wanted them to, they know me, and I know them. And so I wanted to say to them, look, we hear you. And that's what it is. We got a lot of people who are in a lot of pain, and a lot of our children. You showed a clip a little bit earlier from Empowerment Temple where some 300 or 400 ministers had joined, and I was there. But a young lady got up and she said something that I will never forget. She says, you see, I'm in a school where I'm reading from a book that was published in 1973. And basically what she was saying is, it's my turn. I want to have an opportunity to be somebody. And so we in Baltimore, and across the nation, by the way, need to look at our young people, particularly young African-American folks. They just they want a chance. They want to, I call it, they want to be included. And we need to have an inclusion revolution.
It mattered that you were there last night. Obviously, you mean so much to the people here. You meant so much to how they treated the police, because that was your message. And I think you meant something to how the police treated them, because they knew you were there, and they knew that the community had come out in force. And yet, you know what's going on around the country right now when they focus on Baltimore. They say, look at them violent, destroying their own communities. You know, they say the police are the problem. Clearly, they are the problem, these thugs. What's being missed?
I think they're missing the fact that, first of all, most of the children, 99% of them, weren't there last night. They were at home. And they missed the point that earlier in the day yesterday, we must have had at least 1,000 kids in a peaceful demonstration. But they're also missing the pain. You know, children, you know, one young man told me yesterday, he said, Cummings, this is what was upsetting me. He said, first, we don't get the kind of education we deserve. Then we can't function. Then we go to prison. Then we have a record. And then we can't get a job. And we're stuck. And so some kind of way, not just Baltimore, by the way, but the entire country needs to take a warning from this. We have got to do better by our children. And I say to all of my elected officials, I say to them, we should want for these children what we want for our own. And they are not thugs. You got some people who took advantage. There were opportunists who took advantage of a kind of chaotic situation. But that's basically what it amounted to.
When you got gangbangers coming together to say we have problems in this community that need to be addressed, they don't need to be out there. They want this to go away probably faster than anybody else because it's getting in the way of their business. You know what I mean, to be honest about it. But, you know, who wasn't there last night? And you could tell me I'm wrong to look at it this way, that it was a public safety thing. But, you know, I know you're going on 40 years of age now, and you were there last night. The governor wasn't there. The mayor, we heard her voice, but she wasn't there. Do these communities deserve the respect of presence? Do you think it is missing and it matters?
I think, first of all, I really do think it matters. I can't speak for people who weren't there, but I can tell you one thing, man. It makes me feel. See, you got to feel people's pain. And as a son of 2 former sharecroppers who only had a 3rd grade education, to rise up to be a member of Congress. See, when I see them, I see me. And I want them to be the best that they can be. And I want to send them in a destiny of greatness. And they want to be great. But we as adults have to help them.
You know, we got a little compromised last night because you were alone in that crowd. You're revered. I didn't worry about your safety. I worried about your emotional commitment to the people there. It hurts you. When you know the numbers, you've taught them to us. 1/3 of the people in those communities are in poverty. You see yourself in them. They see what they want to be in you. And they don't know if they're going to get it, and they don't know if people want them to have it.
That's exactly right.
What do you say because the change is going to come without. You got almost all black elected leadership here already, and it hasn't changed the fate of these people. You got Martin O'Malley, who's thinking about running for president on the back of what he says he did for Baltimore. Not the best record of accomplishment in here and what's being lived these days. What do you say to people who say, no, they're their own fault, they're their own problem, look what they did to their own community?
Yeah, no, what I say to them is that, yeah, we had some people who were opportunists, but we have got to do better. That's what I say. And I say that to the kids. I tell them, we'll do better. And I think that's why I got the respect that I got last night. I want to end with this.
Please.
I've often said, my favorite quote is, our children are the living messages we send to a future we will never see. With our young men, African Americans, being shot down, now I'm seeing it is our children that are sending their parents to a future they will never see. There's absolutely something wrong with that picture, and we can do better. And that's from the president straight on down to the city council and society.
Now listen, Elijah, I know that this situation literally brings tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
I know that it hurts you because your life is about making that better, and it's hard.
Yeah.
You have a big moment coming Friday.
Yeah.
I don't want to hype the situation. You know, you've known me since I was a kid.
That's right.
I don't know that clarity comes on Friday. I don't know that you get charges on Friday. I'm not making a statement about the case.
Yeah, I understand.
I think there's a misunderstanding of the process here.
And one of the things that I've said to everybody as a former criminal lawyer, to everybody, I'm talking about everybody charging and investigating, that do not make sure you make the public understand that what's going to happen on Friday is the police are going to present to the state's attorney what they have up until this point. The state's attorney's investigation, by the way, which is independent, is going on. The police commissioner's investigation is going on. So it may be weeks before and if any charges are filed. But what I'm also saying to people is we live in a democracy, and we've got to be, it's a fair process. We'll go through that process, and we will get there. But expect any charges next week.
Am I wrong on something that when we were there with you last night, and again, I got to make it clear, we have security here very often in situations. One of the guys is a former D.C. cop, saw Representative Cummings, ran away from us like, you know, we weren't even there because he wanted to make sure that Elijah was all right. I was only concerned because you were so committed to being there.
I love these people.
And it hurt you to see them. And when that one young man was like saying, you need to hear me. You're either with me or you're not. You're either with me. Some people, media, some people turned away, oh, he's grandstanding. You didn't.
No.
You stayed locked on to that young man.
And he hugged me in the end.
And he was hugging you.
Right.
And it was a don't leave me hug. How do you handle that?
It's all right. I had my turn. I want them to have their turn. Simple as that.
What can you do for them? What do you do for them?
What I can do is fight for them. And I've got to make sure that people hear them. See, they feel as if nobody hears them. And I think we're beginning to get that. But I'm telling you, Baltimore can happen anywhere. And you've got people looking at us right now saying, oh, that'll never happen in my community. But yes, it will. But you got to have people that listen, and you got to begin to act on it. You got to say, okay, the school system must be honest. You cannot send children to the 9th grade reading on a 3rd grade level.
But if he waits for everybody else, he's going to be waiting too long.
He's going to be waiting too long.
What did you say to him when we left you guys alone a little bit? And he was holding on to you, and I saw how he was looking at you. I looked at people.
The first thing I told him is, I love you, man. I said, I love you, man. He said, I love you back. I said, I promise you, I'm not going to leave you behind. I promise you. And he said, can I call your office? I said, you know how to get hold of me. He said, done. And so they want to, but they don't want you just to hear them. They want to know that you're going to do something about their pain. And see, they're trying to get, they're reaching for a future, and they're trying to get it, and it just seems like they just cannot touch it. And so we as adults, we've got to say, okay, how do we improve our schools? How do the ones who missed getting the kind of education they really felt that they deserve, we've got to retrain. We got to do remedial classes. I mean, I work with a high school in Baltimore, and a lot of it is remediation. But adults have got to deal with this. You know, we can help young people learn. We can help them discover their talents. But if we don't nurture those talents and we don't support them, it's like any other kid. And I say to every elected official, damn it, want for these children what you want for your own. You don't even have to tell me what it is.
Where's the fire come from?
My fire? My parents.
Because you were the only one there last night.
Yeah,
and that was the place to be.
Yeah.
That's the metaphor, the CVS, the community eating its own. The CVS didn't want to put it here.
Yeah.
And now look what you did.
Yeah.
That's where people are supposed to be. We heard the mayor's voice over the loudspeaker. I know you can't be everywhere, but that was kind of the place.
Yeah.
Where are your people?
I can tell you, first of all, I was watching it on television, and I said, I got to be there. And so I went over. I got to, my parents, God bless them, were two Pentecostal ministers. They didn't have much. But one of the things that they taught us, they said, we want you to go and get an education and get blessed so you can bless.
Get blessed so
that you can bless. In other words, become the lawyer so that you can represent people. Become the doctor so that you can heal people. And that's what it's all about. And so, again, you said it a little bit earlier. It's, they do see something in me, but I see something in them. But if they can't get it out, it becomes trapped. And the next thing you know, you have the explosions that we are seeing. But again, most of our kids, the vast majority, 99% of our kids are not what was shown in, by the way, what would be the equivalent of a third of a football field of the whole city.
There's no question. We were trying to be careful early on. Baltimore is burning. It was never the case.
Right.
You had small pockets where situations were bad, and there are areas that are ordinarily challenged. There's no question that people can exaggerate the view. We know that's why you were there. And I'm sorry it brings tears to your eyes, but I know that there's a trait on that it also fuels your passion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, man. I'm often saying it is your pain that leads you to your passion to do your purpose. Your pain, passion, purpose.
I got it the first time. I know, that's why you Congressman, thank you so much. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Representative Elijah Cummings showing what is the best of leadership on the streets of Baltimore right now, and it has certainly never been needed more than it is needed right now.